Okay, so in this lecture, very quick, in 5 minutes, we will go to the actual slide just for the purpose of the recording. Okay. In this lecture, we are seeing the physiology of large intestine. It will consist of motility, digestion, absorption, and secretion. And what are the factors which are controlling the motility? What are the different types of motility and how it is controlled? And what is the meaning of for the two reflexes like gastrocolic reflex and defecation reflex? And we will see what is the secretion happening in the large intestine and what are the food particles or nutrients are absorbed in the large intestine. A quick review about the parts or anatomy of the large intestine is intestine consists of cecum, appendix, colon. In the colon, there are different parts like ascending colon, the part which is moving up. Then the transverse colon, the part moving in a horizontal way, and the descending colon, that is the part which is coming down. Then there is an S-shaped colon, which is called as the sigmoid colon, sigmoid. And there is a straight part which will open outside the body, which is called as the rectum. Okay, so this is how the actual picture look likes. It starts with cecum. Here is the cecum. Then it will have the in the cecum, attached to the cecum is the appendix. The small intestine is opening into the cecum through the ileocecal valve. Then the part which is moving up is called as the ascending colon. Then there is a transverse colon, and the third one is the descending colon, followed by an S-shaped area, which is called as the sigmoid colon. Then the straight part is called as the rectum, which will open outside through the opening of anal canal. We call it as a anus or anal opening. Okay. The anal canal or anal opening is guarded by two valves, two different types of sphincters are there. Valves or sphincters, you can say. One is called as internal because this is near to the medial line. This is internal. We call it as internal anal sphincter, and it is formed by the smooth muscle, whereas away from the midline is the external anal sphincter. This is made by the skeletal muscle. It is formed by the skeletal muscle. The difference between them is as it is formed by the smooth muscle internal one is involuntary. We cannot control. Okay. We cannot control the internal one, but we can control the opening and closing of the external anal sphincter. It is under voluntary control because it is made by skeletal muscle. Okay, that's why. To open or close the anal opening. Okay. Okay, now what are the primary functions of large intestine? Large intestine do two functions. One is it is dry out the content of the which is supplied to the large intestine. Dry out means it will absorb maximum amount of water and it will store it for some time till you get a proper facility to defecate or to remove the content or to pass the feces. So it will store it for some time and it will dry out all the content. That means it will absorb maximum amount of water. Okay. So we will discuss the large intestine in under following heading: motility, secretion, digestion, and absorption as usual. So in motility, we have got two types of movement or muscle contractions, which are known as, one is known as haustral contraction. Haustral, because it will make haustri. Haustri is nothing but like this. Or another name is segmentation because it is dividing the large intestine into different segments, 1, 2, 3 segments. Okay. Segmental contraction or haustral contraction, one and the same thing. Plus second motility is mass movement. These mass movements are strong peristaltic waves. So I told you the difference as segmentation contraction are local, whereas peristaltic contraction are moving. It will move from one part to another part. When it starts here, it will go on moving and pushing the food or the content to the next segment. Okay. So these are the peristaltic way, mass movement. Okay. Hostile contractions initiated by autonomous rhythmicity of the colonic smooth muscle cell. Same like basic electrical rhythm in the small intestine. Here also there are uh, rhythmic cells which will cause the contraction of the smooth muscles and dividing it into different segments or hostri. Okay. What is the use? It will help to mix the content. As I told you in the last lecture, that by making these segments, you are mixing the food which is here, here, and here. In the next moment, it will be like this.
So, doctor, segmentation and hostile is the same movement, right?
Yes, segmentation, contraction, and hostile are nothing but the same thing, but because of anatomically they are making it hostra. You have seen in the picture, they are called as hostri.
Yes.
So that's why we are calling it as a hostile contraction.
Okay.
So they will mix the food from here to here and here to here. They are mixing and also rolling the food. Suppose this is a cross section of the large intestine and this is the bolus or the chyme, then it will roll. Every time it will move, it will roll so that it will come in contact with the surface area to cause the absorption, or mucosa to cause the absorption of water. The frequency of hostile contraction is very slow. They occur one contraction after every half an hour. Not like the contractions in the small intestine. They are occurring around 9 at one place and 12 at another place. So around 10 to 12 contractions per minute they were occurring in the small intestine. Here they are occurring one contraction in every 30 minutes or around every half an hour. So one time they contract, suppose this is the initial stage, 0 time, and maybe after half an hour, it will become like this. So after this is 0 and this is 30 minutes. So after 30 minutes, second contraction, because this area was relaxed, now it is contracted here. This area was contracted, it is relaxed here. So it is occurring after 30 minutes, very slow. They are controlled by locally mediated reflexes involving the intrinsic plexus. How they are controlled? They are controlled by the local. If you remember the layers, and there are different neurons here in the two layers of the muscle. These are the one which is controlling. Enteric nervous system is controlling these contractions or hostile contractions. Whereas mass movements, these are, as the name suggests, mass, big movement, or it is the strong peristaltic wave. They move the material or the digested, undigested remaining chyme from one portion of the intestine, let's say from ascending colon to transverse colon. This is how they will move, or from uh, transverse colon to the descending colon. This is how they will move, or from here to here, like this. So they will move from one area to another area because they are a strong peristaltic wave. Once they start here, they will end maybe here. Once they start here, they will may end here, like this. So they will move the food or the chyme to different regions of the large intestine. How frequently they occur? They occur around 3 to 4 times in a day. In the whole day, in 24 hours, they may occur 3 to 4 times. Usually, generally, they occur after every meal. They occur after every meal. That's why once you eat a meal, then you feel as if for going to the bathroom, or reflex will start. Why this reflex start? It is not starting because you eat the food. No, it is the initial food which was there. It was or because of the presence of the food or because of the peristaltic wave, it is causing the feeling of defecation. or feeling of going to the bathroom. That's why it occurs around after every meal. Once the material or the chyme reaches to the rectum, it starts from ascending, transverse, descending, sigmoid, and it reaches here, it will cause distension. It will make it distended, and it will start a reflex which is called as a defecation reflex. So initially, this is the size of the rectum, suppose, and it is closed also. Now, once the chyme reaches here after mass movement, it will get distended and it will start sending the nerve signals to the spinal cord. Nerve signals will go to the spinal cord, and then it will start relaxation of the sphincter. From here, it will come back again. Okay, I will discuss this defecation reflex again. So what are the two reflexes? Two reflexes are gastrocolic reflex. Number one reflex is the gastrocolic reflex. What is this suggest? Name is itself suggestive of something. Gastro and colic.
It is
That means
in this junction.
no, when the food is in the stomach, gastrium. Okay, when the food enters into the gastrium, suppose you eat, then there will be starting of reflex here in the as if feeling of going to the bathroom or feeling of defecation. Although this is the food here, but why the reflex is starting here? This is called as gastrocolic reflex. So food is in the stomach, but the colon is having movement. Mass movements are triggered. Mass movements are triggered because of the presence of food in the stomach. That's why the name is gastrocolic reflex. And it is mediated from stomach to the colon by the hormone gastrin. Once the food is here, gastrin will be released. This will join the blood vessel and it will be poured here. It will act on the colon. Also through the autonomic nerves. Through the autonomic nervous system, it will also be initiated because of that. So one is gastrin, release of gastrin because of the presence of food in the stomach. It will act, mix with the blood, and then blood will be supplied to the large intestine, and it will cause the strong peristaltic wave or the mass movement. This is called as gastrocolic reflex, which will initiate or trigger the defecation reflex. It will trigger the defecation reflex because once this is suppose this is the rectum and it is closed. Once the food or the chyme is poured here, it will start to distend, and this distension will start the defecation reflex. Okay, coming to the secretion. What is secreted in the large intestine? In large intestine, nothing but secretion is nothing but alkaline mucus solution. Alkaline to prevent any acidic content to damage the tissues, or mucus because it will safeguard or protect the internal mucosa. The mucosa of the large intestine is saved because of the slippery or mucus secretion in the large intestine. So protecting the large intestine from mechanical damage by mucus, as well as protecting it from any acidic damage by by secreting more and more soda bicarb. This is how the secretion is occurring, nothing more. Okay. What is digested in the large intestine? As for the human being, for the person, nothing is digested. Nothing is digested. No fat, no protein, no carbohydrate is digested. But there is some digestion is taking place, which is with the help of bacteria. With the help of bacteria, they are using the undigested food which is coming here, and they are digesting it for themselves. So colonic bacteria, they will digest some of the undigested like cellulose for their own use. This digestion is not for the person. This digestion is for the, the bacteria which are present. So basically, you can say no digestion as of for fat, protein, or carbohydrate. No, no digestion. Huh? But for cellulose, yes, there is digestion, but this is useful for the bacteria, supplying energy to the bacteria. So large amount of what is absorbed here? Large amount of water will be absorbed, as we have seen in the previous lecture, that 500 ml of the content is poured. Out of that, 350 will be again taken back into the circulation. So what remains is 150 ml of the undigested food and little amount of water, some electrolytes, some bacteria, some cells, shaded cells like this, epithelial cells. Okay. So colon normally absorbs salt and water. Whatever water is absorbing along, if their salt is absorbing, water will also follow it. Sodium will be absorbed actively because energy is utilized. Chloride will follow because positive ions are absorbed. So negative ions will be going because of the electrochemical gradient, passively follow. And water will follow because of the osmotic effect. When salts are going, water will also move. Colon absorbs little amount, token amount, very little amount of other electrolytes as well as vitamin K. From where vitamin K is coming? Vitamin K is coming from the colonic bacteria. Colonic bacteria is digesting some food and converting it or utilizing it for preparing vitamin K. So vitamin K produced because of the action of bacteria, and this will be absorbed for human being. So what remains after absorption of these material like salt, water, and vitamin K and some bile salts? What remains is the undigested or some of the things which are not able to digest are known as the feces now. So out of 500 ml, 350 will be again reabsorbed. So 150 grams is remaining now, which contain again about 100 grams of water plus 50 grams of some of the solid undigested particles like cellulose, like bilirubin, is also known as the stercobilin. Some bacteria will come out, and unabsorbed food residues which are not absorbed will also be included in feces. So feces basically contains 100 out of 150, 100 gram of water and remaining 50 grams of solutes which are containing bacteria, bilirubin, cellulose, and some other undigested food. So this is a distribution like out of the whole feces, 75% is water, 25% is solid. Okay. Out of this 25%, this is the variable amount is there. No need to remember the exact value. This is just to show you that even in feces, 100 ml or 75% is water. Okay. Only 25% is the undigested food, which consists of bacteria, which consist of cellulose, undigested cellulose, and some of the inorganic material like calcium and phosphate, or some of the fat derivatives and bile salts. Okay, as we have discussed that colon contains bacteria, what are their functions? Around 500 to 1000 different species. 500 to 1000 different types of bacteria are found in, they are living in the colon. What are their functions? Their function, they are very helpful for the body, that they will enhance intestinal immunity. They are protective in nature. They are protective in nature. They are helping the motility or keeping the motility of the large intestine. They help to maintain colonic mucosal integrity, and they make nutritional contribution in the form of absorption of calcium, magnesium, and zinc. Now here is the point to be thought of, like if a person is on long-term use of antibiotics, long-term use of antibiotics, what will happen? Antibiotics
Peptic
are,
ulcer.
what are the functions? What is the function of antibiotic? Anti means?
Killing bacteria.
Yes. So out of these so many bacteria, many of them will be killed if you are taking antibiotics indiscriminately. The first, after 2-3 days, you will feel there is some gastric upset, right? Because gastric upset occurs because it will kill the bacteria and these functions will be hampered. Immunity will be decreased, motility will be changed, and the mucosa will shed off. So this is how the improper or uncontrolled use of antibiotics will make the problem related to the large intestine or for the motility, absorption, and digestion purposes. Okay. Okay, what is defecation reflex? The most common or the important function in the large intestine is the defecation reflex. Defecation reflex is a process by which the feces comes out. The feces, you know. What is this? Feces is same. Is it the same what I am writing here?
Yeah, doctor.
Hmm.
I think so.
So feces will come out by the reflex which is known as defecation reflex. How it works? It works very simple, easy to understand. When the mass movement starts, the food or the chyme particle which is held in different regions, it will be pushed to the sigmoid colon, rectum, and it will come to the anal canal. And this will cause distension of the rectum. Rectum will be distended because of something is reaching there. Because of this stretch, it will stimulate the nerves there and will send the signal to the spinal cord area number S2, S3, S4. Sacral spinal segment 2, sacral spinal segment 3, spinal segment 4. Then it will cause contraction of the smooth muscle. Then it will cause contraction of the smooth muscle of the rectum and sigmoid colon and relaxation at the same time, relaxation of the internal sphincter. Still external sphincter is closed. So defecation reflexes start, food coming from the different regions and poured into the rectum. Here it will cause a stretch reflex. This will be going to the spinal cord. Which region? Region number S3, 2, 3, 4. S2, 3, and 4. And from here, the information coming back to relaxation of what? The the smooth muscle, the internal sphincter. Internal sphincter. Still, the feces will not come out. Why? Because the external sphincter is still closed. External sphincter is closed. Why we call it as a reflex? Hmm. Any idea why we give this name as defecation reflex?
When there's a stretch, there will be a reflex for, I think so, for the
Yes, but why we
parasympathetic
are
nerve.
giving them a reflex name as reflex?
It's
Because
involuntary.
it's like a response to
Very good,
stimulus.
very good. Involuntary. When I throw something on your face, you will protect your face by moving your head or catching the object. This is reflex mechanism. Here also, when the food or the undigested material chyme reaches to the sigmoid colon or the anal canal, then it will stretch and it will cause reverse reflex contraction on its own. You don't have to tell the body or tell the anal canal to contract. It will be done as if without any voluntary control. That's why it is called as a reflex. So this reflex occurs. But if you are in a position to relax or go to the bathroom and then you may voluntarily relax the external sphincter because it is formed by the skeletal muscle, So if the external sphincter is relaxed, then the feces will come out. Otherwise not. Otherwise this reflex will end because external sphincter is under voluntary control. Therefore, to prevent defecation despite defecation reflex. So even sometimes the person will feel the reflex is coming, but maybe he is traveling or in a meeting or in a classroom. He will try to finish the lecture or finish the meeting, finish the traveling, then we'll go to the bathroom because it is under voluntary control, although the reflex is coming. So when defecation occurs, it is assisted by when he will find the suitable place, the bathroom and everything, then there will be some force will be applied by moving the abdominal muscle, contraction of the abdominal muscle, deep expiration, forceful expiration against the closed glottis so that internal abdominal pressure will increase and it will lead to passage of the stool. And that time he will voluntarily relax the sphincter, external sphincter, and the feces will come out. This is the defecation reflex. So here is the diagram showing you how the things will happen. Step 1, filling of the rectum. When the mass movement occur, the food or the undigested food which was there, it will come to the rectum. Okay, it will be filled here. Then there will be reflex initiation. There will be contraction of the internal anal sphincter muscles so that there will be relaxation. Okay, so it will open, but the reflex will be up to there. After that, there will be voluntary relaxation of the external anal sphincter, leading to defecation to occur. And this is occurring through the neural pathway. And where it is going? To the sacral spinal segment, sacral spinal cord. Which area? 2, 3, and 4. Why to remember this? Why to remember this? This is going here. Any idea? During accident or during fall or during injury, if your back is injured or the lower back is injured, and
Invalidly.
if these segments are injured, damaged, then there will be problem of defecation, not able to hold the feces, and the feces will come out without the knowledge. Okay.
Clear, doctor.
Yes, that's why you have to remember S2, 3, 4. Okay. Something related to the defecation is called as constipation. Maybe you heard this term very frequently, but we will discuss it. What is the physiology of constipation? When more water is absorbed, more than the normal from the feces, because if the feces remains for long time in the large intestine, ideally water will be keep on absorbing and it will become very hard. They will become dry and hard like clay. All the water is gone. Suppose this is a liquid first and all the water is absorbed because it is not passed out. So it will become dry and hard. This will cause the difficulty in passage of stool, and this will lead to a condition called as constipation. Condition called as constipation. What are the causes? Why it occurs? It occurs sometimes because the person may not find suitable time to pass the feces. So ignoring the urge, although the reflex is coming and he is not going to the bathroom. So one time comes, second time the reflex will come and he ignore and he ignore and he ignore. Then the chyme will remain more time in the large intestine and it will become dried out. So that's why it will be difficult when the person will go to the bathroom, difficult to pass the dry feces. Another cause is decreased colonic motility. Maybe because of low bulk in the diet. The diet is very minimum, usually found in people who are on diet. They want to lose weight and they are not eating sufficient amount of meal. Maybe they are restricting their diet. So their bulk of the stool or the diet will become less or the chyme will become less and it is difficult to stretch the the muscles and will initiate the defecation reflex. So for that, people say when you are dieting, you have to take lot of salads, okay, because it will make the meal big and you will have a bulk in the for passage of the stool. Also, in some cases, aging will lead to the neural activity will be decreased or muscles will become loose. So in old, very old persons, you may find it very common that constipation is occurring in old person. Also, it is related to emotions also. Emotions, anxiety, because of the pressure of studying, pressure of exam, there can be constipation can occur. It could be because of the colonic spasm. Tumor in the colon can lead to constipation, or the most common, which I told you, not most common, but it is because of the injury. Many times the injury to the back muscle, back area or the spinal cord can lead to constipation. Okay, something related to the gases in the large intestine or in the digestive tract is known as flatus. Gases, hawa or flatus. It is derived from two sources. How the gases are formed in the large intestine? It is because of swallowing. When you are eating while talking, then most of the air will be trapped and goes to the GI tract. Maybe around 500 ml of air goes every time when you take a meal. So this is one source. Second source is it is produced by bacterial fermentation. The action of bacteria on different types of undigested food in the colon can lead to production of gas. The most gas is due to the result of bacterial activity, but the quantity and nature, how much gas is produced and which type of gas is produced based on which type of meal or undigested food is present in the colon. So beans and other lentils, they will produce more gas, such as beans contain carbohydrate that human cannot digest. So that's why it will be attacked by the bacteria and this will produce more gas. The type of gases include a mixture, hydrogen plus hydrogen sulfide plus nitrogen and carbon dioxide and methane. Different combination will be present in the gases. Around 200 ml of the gas in a normal person is passed every day. The smell of this gas, flatus, is because of the presence of amount of sulfide. If more sulfide, the more bad smell will be there. Okay. Gas passing through the luminal content give rise to a gurgling sound. When the gas moves in the large intestine, if the air is moving inside, it will give you a sound which a person can easily hear even without the use of stethoscope. This sound is known as borboremi. How you pronounce borboremi? Okay, borboremi is the sound which a person can easily hear from the stomach, from the abdomen, without using the stethoscope because of the passage of gases moving inside the large intestine. Okay, this is all about today's lecture number 1, that is large intestine. Any difficulty?
Much. No, doctor, it's so clear. Thank you so much.